Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Practice Gratitude Success Show. And I'm bringing our guest co-host. He's over on his way right now. Hopefully, Jackson Kelly is the co-founder of Friday Night Live, and him along with his lovely wife Christy, who is here, and there's so many other people. He's on the way over there right now, I believe. Hopefully, so welcome, Christy. Welcome, Jackson. Welcome, Craig. Welcome, Lisa. Welcome, Maria. A good friend of mine, Maria, is popped in for her very first time. So thank you so much. And Chris, thank you for coming. I was on your Friday night, your what do you call it? Your Friday. What's Free Daily Coaching Friday show this morning. So great to have everybody here. There's Jackson. There's J Man. Hey, J Man, good to see you, buddy.
You too, Bobby. Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning, everybody.
Let me ask the people in the chat, how is my sound today? Because I've unplugged my microphone. I've been having a lot of garbling noises. So I'm just working right now off of the webcam. Let me know how it sounds.
It sounds good to me, really good.
Okay.
Actually. Better than before.
Yeah, it's been a lot of echo, so there's something wrong with the connection or something like that. So that's cool. Wonderful. Well, J-Man, thank you so much for coming here today. I know you have a specific topic that you want to go through today, so I'm really excited to hear what you want to share with everybody today.
Well, it's always fun. It's Friday, and well, that call was a lot of fun. Darn it that I didn't get to hear any of that. Really, I couldn't make it out.
It reminded me of me because I've been going through these last couple of days a lot of different technical challenges, and sometimes at least he muddled through it though. He just kept doing it.
I think it was the platform though, because as soon as they went over to the platform, Angel also had the static, so it was whatever platform he's on, and that happens. Yeah. But anyways, it's good to be here. It's another Friday. I can't believe it's gone that fast. Here we are, Friday all over again. And it's so I know everybody has just a ball, every Monday through Friday hanging out with you, and I know Christy and I do as well. And it's just a blast. This community is so awesome. It just is awesome to see what's happening, what God's building in and around, kind of what you said, Bob, earlier, which I just thought was so eloquent. I got to log back on here real quick, but on Facebook, you wrote something, and I love this because I don't know how many people got to see it, so I'm going to read it. I'm not going to embarrass you. I think it'd take a lot to embarrass you.
I wouldn't have posted if it was going to embarrass me.
Oh, well, see, that just proves you can't be 100% Irish, because I would totally do that. But Bob says what he said. If this thing will stop moving, Facebook. We've been having. I can't even find it. Where? Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. I actually can't find the post right now, but
something else we're missing today. We're missing Len Mooney today, and today's Len's birthday, and he's not even here.
Oh, I know. I'm totally ready. So is Christy. We were talking about it beforehand. We're ready to sit back and watch you sing "Happy Birthday," Bob.
Yeah, well, fortunately, he's at a Zumba class today, so we don't have to do that.
Oh, what?
A Zumba. He said he can't make it to the show. He's going to be in a Zumba class.
Okay, what's a Zumba class? Is it online, or is this something you?
No, I don't. Probably not. It's probably it's just some sort of a dance. It's a dance thing, like a Caribbean dance class. And they just get into the whole. Hey, maybe it's
his birthday.
Yeah, he can do whatever. It's his birthday. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to Zumba.
Yeah, I just hope he didn't show up to the class in his birthday suit.
I told him to say hi to Simba for me.
Oh, good. That was nice. Simba will appreciate that. Well, hey, I don't want to get too heavy, and I hope the topic didn't scare anybody off. It looks like it may have, or there's a protest. But what I was going to talk about, and I'll just kind of get into it real briefly. It's not going to be a big long thing, but we practicing love, practicing gratitude, these things that absolutely change people's lives because they get out of, that self-defeating gutter thinking, and to be able to serve a community with the kind of positive and uplifting and abundance that we talk about. We cannot let ourselves be naive, because we don't have to wait for all wisdom to show up in the form of a dove, because sometimes it's all around us, and sometimes the obvious stuff is kind of the things that our higher power or are even people who have prayed for us that have departed. Awareness is so important. And what's happened with Christi and I, the reason why Christi calls herself Queen of Green, and Chris Schaus is a princess of something. Well, it's not on her deal, but she's the green princess. And all these things we talk about, you drinking the blues and the greens, it's all around a discovery that there's something happening around us that is not real cool. When you look at childhood obesity, when you look at the rise in diabetes, cancer, heart attacks, stroke, all these different things, we're in an age where people are coming of age and understanding, kind of like they did back when people thought when doctors used to say, you know what you could use, it's your doctor's office, I'm going to give you a prescription of Valium, but you know what, you might just want to get some Camels. Camels will help calm you down. And they literally almost prescribe cigarettes. I don't think you can find a doctor that will put his John Hancock today on a prescription of cigarettes or tell you that might be a good thing to do. So we live in this what's that?
They used to.
They did. I mean, they did. They absolutely did. I mean, it's not. We used to have cocaine in our Coca-Cola. And there used to be a lot of other things that, in the United States, Bob, it's kind of interesting that we've got just today, Mars Food came out. Mars Food tells customers to go easy on the pasta sauce. Mars Food plans to label some of its Dolmino pasta sauces, macaroni cheeses, and other products as a fit for consumption only once a week due to high levels of salt, sugar, and fat. I'll tell you what it's due from, Bob. It's due that they don't want to get sued. And but the interesting fact is they don't serve that junk in Europe.
Right.
In Europe, they're not changing anything at all because here's what they said. They said the scheme is part of a larger initiative by the privately held U.S. food company to encourage healthier eating at a time when large food multinationals, or big food, are coming under increasing pressure from public health advocates and regulators struggling to fight a growing obesity epidemic. Products that are high in sugar, fat, like lasagna meal kits, lasagna sauces, will come with a label advisement, occasional consumption, which means once a week. However, the company said, this is the point I wanted to get to, of its products in the UK would still be for consumption every day. It didn't give details to the other countries. So what I know from my own homework is that Europe, they don't allow the fillers and the additives that we have in America in our food because they know it's harmful, yet America continues to serve it. So a couple of things real quick, and then we'll just go into, because I'm grateful today that I'm in the know. And that's an awesome responsibility to be in the know, because we're not in the know just for ourselves. And so some things that the 10 worst food companies that are poisoning you daily and lying about it. We don't want to be lied to. And some of these foods are Orville Redenbacher popcorn, Slim Jim, Slim Jim, who knew? Ready Whip, egg beaters, Hebrew National products.
Oh, wow.
Baratoli and F. Chang's. And what they're saying is their slogan is making the food you love. It's equally charming and disingenuous unless you contextualize them in the world of Orwellian doublespeak. These statements are the opposite of truth. ConAgra was found guilty of health code violations and bacterial contaminations at its food processing facilities, which have endangered consumers and in some cases been linked to deaths. They also conceal the use of GMOs in their product and practice unethical factory farm sourcing. In 2003, it was revealed that for 2 years, ConAgra had been poisoning Americans with E. coli tainted beef, which the USDA was complicit in covering up. So, we've got stuff going on in our foods, and that's just one example. I'm not going to beat the drum, but one of the things that we like to do in and around this family of friends and group is to understand that there is a problem, but the nice thing is there's also a solution. Because you just do business with companies that you know and trust, you move towards organic, good living foods that make you feel better. And then, of course, if you want to get on the rock and roll superfoods that Bob does, you get on the blue and greens. But it's just important to understand and to make yourself educated that not everything that says all natural is all natural. And that not only do we need to be looking at high fat content, but we also need to keep aware that there are chemicals and fillers in our food. And so the more that we can move towards whole foods, natural foods, stuff that come out of the ground and off trees, the better we're going to feel. And then of course, that equips us to be more proficient at everything we do, whether it's serving people or whatever it is. Nobody feels good when they're sick, right?
Amen, Jackson. And the word natural, there's so many different connotations to the word natural that don't mean organic or good for you.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to. That's the thing. I was telling you at a conversation. I'm going, I'm doing the knee physical therapy, and I'm talking to the physical therapist. She has a master's degree, and I'm sure she's, probably in her 50s, and so she's a real nice gal, real intelligent. But then I started talking about chemicals, and what keyed it off is she goes, you know what? You just can't tell me that after all this time, there's absolutely no cure for some of these cancers. It's like they're getting us sick so that we can pay to stay well. That came out of her mouth. And I was like, okay, you're getting a sample of toothpaste, lady. But no, we just continued our conversation. I'm going to see her a few more times and she will get that sample. But we continued our conversation, and I thought it was interesting that while she was helping me out with the physical therapy and sitting on my leg and wrenching it up like this, and I'm that, we were having this conversation. She's listening to me, Bob, and she's going, I'm talking about chemicals. And I tell her, before 9 a.m., most people put anywhere from 180 to over 200 women more than men with makeup and everything, toxic chemicals into their body onto their largest organ. And I could watch her as she's, twisting my leg off, and I could see the light bulbs going on, and she's going, wow. And I said, that stuff's not regulated. So listen, I say all that to say this. This is what it kind of impressed upon me. We have something that you don't, just like your product, Bob, with your living insurance. You shouldn't ever be I don't think you're ever embarrassed or standoffish to want to share that with somebody. You can share that with boldness of truth because having gone through what you've gone through, how much that could help an individual. And so that's the beautiful thing, is that, you know, you can talk to anybody from a PhD. I don't care if it's a doctor, a lawyer, I don't care who it is. Because here's a woman in medicine, in a medical facility. She's listening to me mostly scream, and and she's really taking it to heart. And so I think it's awesome, because to have a product like that, to have something like that, or have that kind of knowledge where you can help people is super cool. But the other thing is that you know, it's an awesome responsibility, because if somebody was to look at, you know, this understanding that we have now as a business opportunity only, they would be missing something so big, because this is so much more than that. I mean, it is to Christi and I know it is to many others. This is not just the best thing in the world to happen as far as an opportunity. This holds one of the biggest weights of responsibility of anything that I've ever dealt with. When I was in the health club business and I helped people, I dialed in their diets and helped their exercise and stuff. Their bodies would change. That was awesome. But that's people that come up one by one, say, hey, I want to get fit. That's not a whole group, an entire group of people worldwide that have been duped and are being duped and filled not only in our cosmetics and in our you know, the stuff we use to clean ourselves, but in our food, and they're getting away with it for the most part. And so when we see Mario says Marines moan, they don't scream. Hoorah. Thanks, Mario. That's true. But I love it. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. But you know, it really is. It's a responsibility, and if you take and internalize that responsibility inside of you, knowing that you've been gifted. Talk about a supreme gift. If anybody who is not, I mean, like when I talk with Rick Johnson, you know, he's schooled the heck out of me. And just talking about this, because I just saw Rick, you know, talking about Rick Johnson. Rick Johnson and I had a conversation, and, you know, I didn't really know Rick. I knew fun-loving, nice guy Rick, but I didn't know what Rick did, what things that he specialized in, or whatever it was. And he says to me, he kind of giggled, because you know, it was over a year ago, I think it was. And I'm like, hey, I'm into this organic stuff, and you know, man, did you know that? He goes, oh, I know a lot more than that, Jay, man. He goes, how far do you want to peel the onion? And I'm like, well, you know, what the heck's he talking about, right? And so bless his heart, Rick started peeling the onion. And I started getting teary because, and I'm serious. This is the God's truth. Maybe I was talking to you, Bob, but I was talking about how, you know, I went into kind of a dark place for a while after Rick's phone call, and, because it was so immense. The reality and the truth was so large, and I am an ex-Marine, and I have an investigator's mind, and I work for the Naval Intelligence, and my mind works like that. I work things backwards and forwards, trying to go, wait a minute. And after that conversation with Rick, you know, I'd already been schooling, so it poured me into a place where I sat on the internet mostly and just read and looked and peeled that onion more and more and more. And that onion leads to people actually being assassinated who have cures for big stuff. And so it's a huge responsibility. And what did Rick just say up here? I like that. We're saving the planet for a future family. Yeah, and not only the planet. Hey, Bob, if someone could go back in time and talk to you, okay, before your stroke. Plenty of time before your stroke, and they said, hey, dude, that stuff you're putting on your hair, that hair gel, because at that time Bob just probably had one of those Mohican things, because he was in business, so he was waxing back his Mohican If they said, "Hey, you can't eat that. Those are full of chemicals. All that crap that's in there. Can you imagine?" And if you stop now, this is what it's going to save you from. You might not, knowing you might go, "No, I'd go through it anyway because it's changed my life and it made me a different person. I'm a better person today." And all those things are true. But I think the Bob back then might have said, "Yeah, eat." If there was some secret thing, it's like, it's in the hairspray. Don't use that anymore. You might have stopped using the hairspray, right?
Who knows? Who? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Sometimes people don't take action until something happens to them, until they're impacted in some way. So all we can do is get the message out there, and let people become aware. I mean, this information that Rick shared with you, it got you aware of all this stuff. This stuff was out there beforehand. I mean, so it's
yeah, but
it
wasn't out there for me. It wasn't out there for me. Nobody bothered to tell me about it. Did you ever see that movie, that Van Damme movie? I think it might have been called Time Cop. And the bad guy goes back in time and he sees himself and he grabs him by the shirt and he goes, "Hey, lay off the Snickers."
No, I didn't see that.
His future self tells his past self to lay off the candy bars.
See
me, I'd have listened. But yeah, it's been there, Bob. But the problem is it wasn't presented in such a way that it was a wake up call for me. And I think that just goes, yeah, there you go. Mario said it best. Education is power. But there's a lot of things on the internet right now that we could talk about. We could go back and look at the relationship between the United States of America and Native American Indians. There's probably some stuff that would blow us away if we got in that and started peeling that onion back. But that onion really doesn't go to change the whole world. This is a worldwide problem. And I didn't believe it was a worldwide problem until people that I respected, people that I knew, people that had no axe to grind and no reason to dupe me, told me about it. And now I've found it to be true because the evidence of that lives inside of me. Every time I take those greens, every time I think of the fact that Christi's family is still up in Denver and they're still suffering from cold and flu, they're miserable. We forget how miserable we are when we get sick until that thing starts coming right in the beginning. We know it's coming and we got the thing in our throat and all that. Every time the power of that inside of me, the evidence of that inside of me, that's the only truth I need to know. That is the evidence of the truth that I was told. Now, I've had people tell me, "Hey, do this, do that, and do the other thing, and this will happen," and it didn't, because it was a lot of hype. We live in a marketing world, and this is so much different than that. And so, anyways, all I wanted to touch on today is that there is a huge problem. When you see, we see it all around us, and it's hurting our children the most. And I think that's the thing that really makes me mad, is that this information that we have. Pregnant women right now are poisoning their babies unknowing, thinking they're doing all the best things. I'm talking, there's probably a pregnant gal dancing with Lynn at the dance class right now because she's staying in shape, and that's a low, and she's thinking she's doing everything she can, yet every time she puts on her deodorant, every time she puts on her makeup, every time she does her hair, she's hurting herself, and those chemicals are absorbing through her bloodstream, through her skin, into her bloodstream, and into her child's life. And that child isn't even born yet. I mean, this is messing kids up that aren't even born yet. And so, I mean, it's a pretty awesome responsibility. We have a pretty awesome message. But today I just wanted to kind of talk. And then I'm done. I'm gone.
I think what's really powerful, J-Man, is that the one independent study video. It's Living Life Chemical Free is huge. It's an independent. What's the name of it? The environmental something group or something like the Environmental Works Group, but it's an independent. It's a nonprofit independent study that talks about the things that we're putting in toward our system, how children were born with these poisons in their system before they're even in the womb, not even born yet, and they have these things. And that's because of all the stuff that you just mentioned over the last half an hour here. It's just incredible. I will make sure I will put that link in there. Then I would recommend, if you want more information, talk to people like Jackson, talk to Chris Shelser, Christi, or anybody that is talking about this, Rick Johnson, anybody that's talking about this whole organic movement. Get involved and just get educated and learn a little bit more about that, and then share that. Just learn for yourself. Like you said, the awareness is power. It's king. So when you know that, you can't unknow it, unless you're making just a choice to ignore it. If that's up to you. If you want to ignore it and say, no, I don't care about that. But until something happens to you, until all of a sudden you're paralyzed, and you can't freaking move because you've been putting this stuff in your system for years and years, dunking, cookies and milk and, for a year, sugar, all this sugar is such a big thing. And gosh, it's amazing. You can't unlearn this stuff. You have to. And then
what did you just say, Bob? You can't unlearn this stuff?
You can't unlearn it.
Unlearn it.
You can't unlearn it. Once you know it, you can't unlearn it.
That's so good. I love that. That's so good. That's what Michael Winiger said at the Great Green Event. You can't unlearn this stuff. And for those of you, just as we go, not to interrupt, but from those of you who we all learn. You serve, and then the money will come. Guys, there's a tsunami of money in serving this sector, an absolute tsunami. Whatever you do. Once you get into this, because you can't unlearn this. People don't go. Christi and I are not going to go. If for whatever reason Asante sold out and they decided to start making candy bars, oh my God. But anyways, we wouldn't stop doing what we're doing. We're not going to go back to the chemicals. We're not going to. I just cleaned the entire bathroom yesterday. And all I used was water, baking soda, and vinegar. And it was so sparkling clean. And I recalled from doing that from years. Mario and I were in the Marines. They just gave you a bleach and toothbrush and said, go to work, kids. So, I mean, so high. The toxicity of that environment is so high. It used to give me a huge headache and make me sick. Now, nothing like that. I told Christi, I walked in because I had sprayed vinegar all over the tile and everything. I said, be careful when you walk into the bathroom. There are high levels of fumes that you can eat and that are non-toxic.
That's great. Hey, Jamie, before we leave here today, do you want to talk about what you're going to have going on tonight at Friday Night Live tonight?
Well, it's going to be a great show, as always. We have a special announcement of a huge guest, but this week we'll be talking about it. But tonight we're going to let tonight be a little bit of a surprise. I'm planning. Bob, you looking at me? I'm planning a rant, and you're going to love it. Boom.
Love those rants, man.
But I appreciate you mentioning it. We're going to have a good time.
Sometimes people need to hear rants.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do a cooking show tonight. I'm thinking of whipping up some of our famous pizza. We make an organic veggie pizza with organic cheese from scratch. The crust. Christi's really become the master. So I'm thinking maybe she might be a bit Italian. I'm not sure. I'm going to check into that. But I'm telling you what, it's so good. It's so good. I want pizza right now. So I'm going to be making a pizza online live in the kitchen. That's what we're going to be doing.
You know what, Jamie? I'm surprised to hear when you mentioned the first foods, those 10 foods. I'm surprised you mentioned Hebrew National. I actually really thought they really were a little bit. I know hot dogs aren't good for you, but in my mind, I thought they probably were better. I thought they listened to a higher authority, like the commercials say. So I'm kind of surprised, but heck, you don't know. Like you said, we're being duped out there. We're just being duped.
There's so many of them. I'll put that link, Bob. I'll give you that link in chat, and you can link this too, because it talks about Hershey's, PepsiCo, Kellogg's, Nestle, Coca-Cola, Campbell's Soup, Heinz, Kraft Foods, and General Mills as well, and it's a real eye opener.
All American companies. Just like
Right.
you think mom's an apple pie, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, mom's apple pie maybe, but not Kraft.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much, Jax. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing it today, because that's so important. It's so powerful to hear that. So, I just hope that more people become aware of this and they spread it, because like you said, if you're doing it for the money, don't do it for the money. Do it because it comes from your heart, because you want, like Rick said, you would do this for the future, for our children, for everybody that's coming up. The world's only got to go green once, so we might as well get in front of that tsunami and ride it in there and be the crusaders of wellness.
Yeah, and it's going, man. People don't like to be lied to, and people don't like to be cheated. People don't like to be messed over. It's going that way. I feel like I was praying. I'll stop. I'll let us go with this. But I was praying. I was talking to the Lord, and I'm like, I really need to, I want to make sure that I'm putting stuff out there that has value, because. We have a lot of fun, and that's great. And we're never going to stop doing that. The day I stop doing that, I've been abducted by an alien, and that's not me. But at the same time, I want to know, as this has been bestowed upon me, the Lord's like, you have something to say. You have the truth, and so I think each week, I'm going to touch a little bit on it. Maybe not this heavy or this title, but I really wanted to kind of just. I was a little shocked by the article, and I thought, what a good time to be able to do it and put something out there that's going to stay out there, and maybe someone will catch this one time. Maybe they'll see it and it'll change their life, because I'm getting really stinking mad about what's going on. And something's happening and stirring inside of me, and that's going to manifest obviously into something that I'm going to put out. So this was just part of that. I just kind of wanted to get out, and I appreciate and I'm so thankful that honestly that with brought on my heart that you'd have me on and keep having me on, because well, it's our family, and I love everybody here. But what we're doing together, Bob, is all of us. We're making a difference. We're making a difference in the stuff that we say and the stuff that we're putting out in the universe. And that makes me feel good at night. That gets me a smile when I go to sleep, and motivated when I wake up in the morning. And the things I want to talk next week about what Andy and that whole thing, and a lot of other things, your fast and stuff like that. But we better jet, because you've already.
Thanks, Jamie. I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time. Talk to you tonight at Friday Night Live.
Love you guys. See you tonight. Hope you can make it.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.